Donna Hopkins Pro Football Plus out here at Commanders headquarters as they get ready to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are coming off their bye week. A big game for this Commanders team. Many people are saying this is a measuring game for this team facing this Steelers team. 10 games into the season, the 7-2 Washington Commanders, and big acquisition this week for the Commanders from the Saints to get Marshon Lattimore, quality cornerback, a shutdown cornerback, but not for sure if he's going to be able to play because he's nursing a little hamstring injury. He said that that's something that just happened recently. But let's look at his credentials. 6 foot, 194 pounds. This season, played 7 games, had 30 tackles and 2 pass breakups. But when you look at his career overall, solid when you talk about him. He was drafted number 11 in 2017, but his overall career, 8 season, 405 tackles, 88 pass breakups, 15 interceptions, forced fumbles, 5. So you get a player of his caliber, and it's going to make your team better. Let's go to the locker room to talk to some of the players.
A charitable organization for homeless youth. And one of the kids there, he's like, hey, man, like, we just got Marshon. I'm like, huh? Like, we just got Marshon Lattimore. I was like, damn. So that was cool. Yeah, it was cool.
Hey, Jeremy, what does a player of his caliber do for this defense?
I mean, it just adds another dynamic. You know, you have a guy who can go out there and shut down. Like, he's been doing that for a long time in this league. So, you know, that's great for us.
I think you have a guy that is experienced. I think you have a guy that is battle tested. I think he's been up against some of the top receivers and done really, really well. And so having that experience and being able to share that knowledge with some of the younger guys, I think will be really big.
He's a top-tier caliber player. Definitely ecstatic to have him in a locker room with us, to have him on our team. He's a physical cornerback, a dog. He reminds me of when I played with Jalen Ramsey, just a guy that just a dog, doesn't care who your number one receiver is. He's going to travel him and he's going to strap him up all game. And as a defensive end and a pass rusher, I like to get to the quarterback. I love that. So I'm super happy to have him here. Been following him since he was in college and things like that. So it's really cool just to have him on this side.
Yeah, Marshon, obviously we have a lot of familiarity being from the same recruiting class at Ohio State, and we played each other in the league. And, I just think he's everything you look for in a top corner in this league, from his length with his arms, his play speed, his physicality, his ability to match any receiver in the league, quick guys, bigger bodies. His competitive edge, I think, is what sets him apart. I think the word, dog gets thrown around a lot, but I think he's everything that we're looking for, everything that DQ and this organization is looking for in a competitor. He relishes in the challenges of going against the best guys, and you see his personality come out on the field. He may not say too much in interviews or in the locker room, but his play does all his talking, and so I'm excited to see how he adds to the group of guys that we already have. As you can see, they've gotten a lot better over the course of the season, our defense, but adding a guy like that, I truly feel like gives you another edge, and not only for them, but for me as well and our receivers. Just being able to go against him in practice is going to help us as well. So excited to have him on our team. I can't wait to see him just go out there and compete and do what he does.
Also, we had a chance to hear from Marshon Lattimore about just coming here to Washington and how he sees himself on his new team.
I'm excited. It's a new start for me. I'm just ready to go, see what's in the future for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ready to go and get it done. I mean, it's good. They got a good young quarterback. They got good things going on. Well, we do. Now, let me change how I'm talking. But, we got stuff going on here, so I mean, it's a great situation for me to be in, so, I'm excited for it. It's my 8th year in the league, and just a dog, me personally, I'm going to go out there and do everything I can for the team to get the win. And shit, just being a dog, it's good. In New Orleans, when I first got there, that's how it was there. There's a lot of Ohio State players now. It's the same thing here. And then we all from the same recruiting class, too, so, you know what I'm saying, make it even bigger and better. So, I'm happy to be here, and I'm just waiting to play with them again.
Well, we heard from Marshon Lattimore about being a Commanders now, 4 Pro Bowls, voted to 4 Pro Bowls, and had a chance to talk to a lot of the players about adding this player to their roster. Coach Witt talked about how important this guy is, his credentials. Coach Quinn talked about his credentials, and this is the type of player that you need on this roster to make this secondary even better.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone knows that the secondary has been playing much better. You know, Joe Witt said that today, to us, that they are playing much better, but they still don't have that one corner that is capable of just totally neutralizing the opposing team's best receiver. And I think that they have that now. They have a guy that's a 4-time Pro Bowler, a fierce competitor, kind of just a nasty person on the field. He doesn't back down. And, you think about the opponents that are coming up. Will he play against Pittsburgh remains to be seen. But if he doesn't, then everyone knows that, he's brought in to really get after the Philadelphias of the world, the A.J. Browns, the Devonta Smiths, possibly a C.D. Lamb if he's not injured. So this was done, and not just for this year, Donna, but this was done for the next several years to have them a true shutdown, lockdown cornerback.
The key thing about this Commanders team right now, they are building for the second half of the season to finish 7-2 at the beginning part of the season. Nobody probably seen that. We can't even be truthful and say that we saw this team being 7-2. But going into the second half, they got Pittsburgh this week. They've got the Eagles on next Thursday, and then they've got Dallas. Talk to me about the second half of the season of how you see this team. A player like Chris Rodriguez comes in and plays solid. This is a guy that last week against the Giants, we saw what we saw when he came in as a rookie. Brian Robinson may be back this week. Second half of the season is the most important part of getting into the playoff, and how you play now is the telltale about who you are as a team.
Yeah, I mean, the second half is going to be important, and they wouldn't have made the move for Marshon Lattimore if they didn't feel like they're capable of not just winning the NFC East, but making a nice run into the playoffs. And, so at 7-2, everything's in front of them. Normally, teams get better in the second half. They find what their weaknesses are, and they make them better. They found what maybe wasn't a strength of theirs, and now they've made it a strength with the addition of Lattimore. So I think overall, I mean, everything's in front of them. I mean, they have an opportunity to do something that no Washington team has done in the past 30 years, and that's win 11 games. They legitimately have a chance to break another streak, and that could put that streak to bed, and I think that they're clearly on their way to doing that. Donna, they would have to play 500 football from here on out just to get 11 wins, and we think they're better than a 500 football team.
Well, let me just say this Pittsburgh Steelers team is coming here after their bye week. This is a strong team with a Russell Wilson behind the center now, which makes them much better. Coach Quinn talked about what Russell Wilson means to that team, what kind of quarterback he is. Bobby Wagner talked a little bit about Russell Wilson because he played with him up in Seattle. Let's go to the locker room to hear what both of them had to say about Russell Wilson and facing this Pittsburgh offense. Russell Wilson is back behind the center now. May not be the quarterback of scrambling all around that he was earlier on, but could you talk a little bit about facing a quarterback like Russell Wilson, being a veteran that he is?
Yeah, and the thing that when I think about Russ, the first thing that pops to my mind is this is a remarkable deep ball thrower. And it's what he has absolutely earned and been known for, Donna, inside and outside the pocket, where he's got the ability to be able to throw on the run, 50, 60 yards down the field to a spot that only, his receiver can get to it, or off a big play pass. So that, to me, is what, sets him apart, is he's got a, strong arm, big hands. He can absolutely rip it, but it's the downfield big shot plays. When those explosive plays happen, those are game changers. And that's what I think Russ's superpower is. Like, deep ball accuracy is not everybody has that.
Hey, Bobby, could you talk about a Russell Wilson? He's not the scrambling that he was, but he still does.
I gotta take care of us vets, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be trying to age us faster than what we are. He's still doing amazing things.
I was getting ready to say that.
I'm just saying. I gotta stick up for the vets, man.
Could you talk a little bit about facing him again, as far as seeing him now and what he still can do?
I think he's just getting in a good rhythm. I think he's really helped his team, from a veteran standpoint, just the way he's able to get the ball to the playmakers, the way he's able to, execute his play action. He's always been good getting out of the pocket and making the throws downfield, and that's what he brings to the table. And I'm sure he's doing a great job leading those guys and being really positive. And so, I'm excited to go get some. Should be fun.
Definitely, we're gonna have to stop the run and go out there and play as one. They're a physical team, a team that loves to compete and things like that. So it's definitely gonna be a physical game for sure. We just got to get ready. Buckle up our chin strap a little bit more and get ready for it.
What do you like about what this defense has been able to do with this pass rush that you're going to need this week?
Yeah, we just play together as one. It starts during the week for sure. We try to rep those reps that we're going to have in the game with each other, be on the same page. So when we out there on Sunday, we can just fly around and go knowing that we're on the same page and just trust each other. We got a lot of great pass rushers and endurance. You got Johnny coming into himself now. Deron Payne, Frankie. So it's real cool when we out there and we on the same page and we rush. I love it.
Jeremy Chin, last 3 weeks, Coach Witt was talking about this guy is really playing. What have you seen out there from Jeremy Chin these last 3 weeks or so? And they said that last week was by far his best game.
Just communicating. He's pretty quiet, so just to hear him talk and stuff like that and communicate on the back end, that's what I like.
Well, Lake, you heard what Coach Quinn had to say and Bobby Wagner about Russell Wilson. Even though Russell may not be the scrambler that he used to be, but as Bobby Wagner said, hey, don't be trying to throw the old guys under the bus and whatever, because they're still able to move around and do what they did. He may not be the Russell Wilson of old, but how do you see this team playing against a team like Pittsburgh and coming out with a win?
Yeah, I mean, just like pretty much in any game, you have to get pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, because if you don't, they'll beat you. And Russell Wilson is, a potential Hall of Famer. He's a guy that's won a Super Bowl. He's had some big moments in this league, and he's kind of revitalized right now back in Pittsburgh, doing what he's doing. But I think if you're Washington, if you can, get a lot of pressure on the edge from him, make him step up in the pocket to beat you and not use his legs, because everyone knows, even though he's older, he still can move the football running. So you just have to contain him. I think, fortunately for Washington, because they practice every day their defense against a dynamic runner, in his own right, in Jaden Daniels, I think that's going to help them a little bit, as far as their preparation against Russell. So for me, if Washington can put pressure on Russell Wilson does throw some balls up there for grabs. So they'll have some chances to make some plays in the second.
Could you talk a little bit about just the opportunity last week that you got when your number called upon? Take me through that, just being back out on the field.
Honestly, it felt pretty good. Like you said, I kind of really didn't know what was going on. And then when I did find out, it was just kind of those things where, like, I'm ready, and if I'm not, you better get ready. So, I was looking over my plays early, like right before the game, and J-Mac came up and was like, hey, like, it's too late, bro. Go out there. You're going to stress yourself out. Just go out there, play fast, have fun. If you mess up fast. But it was fun, though.
Is it a testimony to this team as far as just the depth that they have when someone is not able to go and the next person comes up and productive too?
Yeah, it is. And, it's one thing that, I also, thank you for, even though there's some guys that don't get as many of those reps, sometimes there might be an opportunity period after practice where the guys that's not getting those reps can, get those plays in with Marcus or Jeff, whoever it may be, and we go out and get those reps. And then, my coach always tells us, like, Coach Lane's like, listen, if you need reps in this league, you're in the wrong league. If I'm coaching one, I'm coaching all. So it wasn't, as I say, tough to, get back in the rhythm of things.
Did it help also that you didn't know right away that you were able to be more relaxed, being able to just get out there?
Yeah, I mean, being relaxed comes with just knowing your stuff. And again, like throughout the week, Austin Eckler, if if he's like, hey, like, just be ready. I don't know if I'm going to go in this rack. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like making sure I'm locked in. And next thing you know, he ends up taking all the reps. But he's like, listen, like, I told him, like, I appreciate you for that. Like, it made me lock in more on my details and everything that I had going on.
Yeah, and we look at the Commanders' running game. This is a area of this team that really has some great depth. We saw what Chris Rodriguez was able to do last week filling in for Brian Robinson. Hopefully they can have Brian Robinson back in the lineup this week because he's going to be key as far as that running game for this team. And you got Eckler and Jeremy McNichols. So when you look at that backfield, strong all the way around. So when you look at the passing game of this Commanders team, just the connection that Terry McLaurin and Jayden Daniels have had with each other, but not just Terry, but this whole receiving core in the last 3 or 4 games, De'Ami Brown, Luke McCaffrey, the tight ends, Zach, even Sennett, and it's something nice that is being built here. Olamide, everybody is in the mix as far as this passing game, and they're going to need everybody clicking on all cylinders. Let's go to the locker room to hear what some of the offensive players had to say about meeting Pittsburgh. Gary, moving on from the Giants to Pittsburgh this week, talk a little bit about this matchup coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been a premier organization for a very long time in this league. From their fan base to, their history, and Coach Tomlin has done a great job of building identity with them, and I think they exude that each and every time they step on the field. Their defense is extremely physical. They're doing a great job of taking away the football. They have elite players on all 3 levels, in my opinion, and it's going to be a 4-quarter battle going against them. Obviously, we know we got to be physical, match their physicality, if not taking up a notch. But we got to take care of the football. A team that's very opportunistic, really forces you to be consistent going down the field. Can't get in negative plays because that's when, T.J. Watt affects every down, but especially on when you get behind the sticks, that allows him and their other pass rushers to really pin their ears back and attack your offense. So we just got to do a good job staying ahead of the sticks and protecting the football. But, I got a lot of respect for their organization and how Mike Tomlin's built that team and the identity that they have. And so for us, I feel like we're building a very strong identity for ourselves where anytime, anywhere, any place, we're looking forward to the challenge. So, this is going to be good on good, and we're looking forward to it this weekend.
Well, big game coming up, as I said, for this Washington Commanders team. Everybody is measuring this game right here. It's a telltale. Some people are saying about where this team is right now. We're in the second half of the season, though, so these are, to me, must-wins for this team heading into the second part of the season. Coach Quinn and Coach Witt talked about some of the key things that they want to see, and even Coach Witt talked about some of the plays that happened in the Giants game that necessarily didn't work out, where the tight end, was checking, and the same thing that happened in the Baltimore game where they got a touchdown, and he said they're throwing that out the books. Won't see that anymore because he said that the players don't know how to, play that particular check down and so forth. But again, you like the Commanders going into this game and what they have showed so far this season. A big, tall task for Jayden Daniels this week. One thing about Pittsburgh's defense is they do have trouble against quarterbacks like Jayden Daniels, who likes to move and roll out. But again, you've got 2 special quarterbacks this coming week in Russell Wilson, the veteran quarterback that, as Coach Quinn said, has a nice ball and what he can do downfield, as far as throwing on the run, sideways, and all those things. So he may not run a lot, but guess what? That arm strength is still there. And Mike Tomlin, we know what he dials up. But key thing to me this week, again, is Kingsbury and what he dials up offensively. Offensive line has played really well the last 3 weeks or so, been a surprise this season. But Brandon Coleman is a guy that really has stood out. And when you look at what he did going up against a top defensive player last week with the Giants, he's going to have the same thing this week when he plays faces the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you like what you see in this young tackle in Brandon Coleman and what he's done this season so far. So Donna Hopkins out here at Commanders headquarters as we all get ready for this big game coming up against the Pittsburgh Steelers.